Hey, lovely 30 days of freedom yogis. This is a recording for you. It's a short and sweet snippet of yin. So for those days where you want the grounding, maybe before bed, or even when you first wake up, or perhaps you're just in the middle of a very hectic day and you just need a moment to zone out, to rest, to digest, and to come back home to yourself. This is a really short practice to allow you to do exactly that, to find a moment of stillness amongst the chaos. Enjoy your practice. And you can start by coming over to your mat space with your feet underneath your hips and allow your arms to rest by your side. First of all, spread your toes. We'll start with a little bit of movement before we find pure stillness. So just allow the body to come into quite a relaxed Tadasana, mountain pose position, not holding the palms to face forwards or anchoring the arms down by your side, just finding space. Take a deep and full breath in. As you exhale, you might start to gently close the eyes or even drop the eye gaze. Let your belly be soft. Make sure that there's space and room there for expansion and gentle contraction without forcing or pulling. On your next breath in, tuck the chin to the chest. We'll round the shoulders forward. Let the arms fall in front of the body. We'll take a few spinal rolls to get us started. So gently rolling all the way down until the fingertips gently graze the floor. And as we inhale, we'll slowly begin to unravel and come up the other way. Taking our time, being slow, keeping the chin to the chest until we get to the top where we roll the shoulders up, back and down. And let's go again, chin to chest, shoulders come forward, soften knees. Rolling the body all the way down to the earth. And slowly picking the body back up. Just taking a little awakening for the spine. This is always quite nice for the back of the body, especially as one of our first poses will be sink. Spoiler alert. Let the chin tuck to the chest and roll all the way back down. Slow and steady with the arms dangling in front of your body and your body weight and gravity doing the work here, but you're not rushing. This time when you come all the way down, let's heel ball toe the feet wide and take about a minute in our malasana, our squat pose. So really dropping the hips low. Now, if this doesn't feel great for you and you actually find that you're not really able to settle into the pose that easily, I'd like you to take a block underneath each heel or even a rolled up jumper underneath each heel, something that you can create a bit of a wedge with. Bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, let the palms press together, thumbs to heart space, closing down the eyes. Notice how here you feel your belly so much more. When you inhale and grow expansively, you feel the pressure moving outwards. And when you exhale and find softness. You start to feel that gentle energy moving within you. Now, yin doesn't have to be a sequence of movements that each pose lasts, 5 minutes. It can literally be a minute or two. Just to start to move the chi, the energy around the body, to start to unblock along the meridian lines, the energetical roadmap through our body. In Chinese medicine, it's believed all these little blockages have an effect, an overall impact really on our health, our well-being, different organs and places and spaces in the body. In each shape, you are able to close the eyes and maybe come back to stillness. And just breathing deep, whatever you're choosing to do, however you're propping yourself up here. Take a couple more breaths. As you inhale, gently rock forwards and release the knees down to the floor and just pause for a moment in tabletop. Close the eyes and tune into the sensation that you feel in the pelvis and the release in your body. Let your belly expand as you inhale and feel it almost draw towards the floor. And slowly from here, we're going to start to come into Sphinx pose. So I've got a bolster here. You might not have a bolster at home, but you might have pillows. You might even have a duvet. And I know there's a few of you that love a yin practice with a duvet. So you could roll that up in like a sausage shape to lay underneath you. The idea is it's coming towards the bottom of the ribs. So underneath the center of the chest to support the body in its spinal flexion. So as you come down, rest the body onto the bolster, take the forearms up and over. Palms could face down or they could face up. And just check in with my feet. So the tops of my feet are down. You can take your feet as wide or as narrow as feels good, but notice what happens in your lower back when you bring the feet closer together. You can create, for some bodies, a little bit of compression in the sacrum. So let's just try and give ourselves space. You can lift the thighs, separate the legs wide, let the toes even come off the mat if that's what feels good. And let your eyes close and let yourself breathe. Now the chin doesn't have to be fully to the chest, but dropping it a little way down will allow the pressure and compression to come out of the back of the neck. And notice how that the support underneath you should take away some of the strain from the arms. And it should allow your pelvis and your lower abdomen to just get real heavy towards the earth. Unclenching the teeth, relaxing the face. Even though in a 60, 70-minute yin practice like we used to in class, live and in person, there's an element where it takes us a bit of time to drop into the stillness. Hopefully by the time that you're gravitating towards this short practice, you're in the space where your mind is really ready to slow down. So if you're still finding the thoughts racing, just try to bring them into the space in the body where you feel sensation. Sensation of the floor, sensation of the stretch, sensation of the bolster or duvet underneath you. Find sensation and just breathe life into that sensation. Every time we take a breath, we have an opportunity to expand and to contract, to grow space within us and to soften into it, to allow the yang to bring about the essence of yin. One more deep breath in here. Let go as you exhale. So being really mindful of the spine. Now, one of my favorite ways to come out of this is actually to move the bolster forwards, but that might not work for everyone. So you can come up and out a different way. Lay on your front for a moment, letting the forehead come down on the backs of the stacked hands. Maybe a little rock of the pelvis, but maybe just find stillness actually. Just lean into the stillness here. And then gently slide your hands next to your shoulders. Let your hips come up and back, big toes touch, child's pose, to feel that sensation of the lower back. Almost move with opposing energy. Soften the forehead to the floor. Let the arms stay outstretched. And just observe for a moment. Just observe in child's pose what the full sensation is. What is the biggest expression in your body right now? One more deep breath in here. And one more exhale. Slowly begin the process of peeling yourself up. Bring it into seated, Sukhasana, left ankle in front of the right. And you're really welcome to bring any props in here that you feel are appropriate. When we come into Sukhasana, try not to have the ankles underneath you. You want one in front of the other. So you don't want to feel like there's compression in the ankles or that you're like stacking your legs on top of each other. This is the time and place for decompression, particularly in the knee joint. And it's a really lovely alternative to pigeon pose for those of us that really struggle with the knee and maybe even the external rotation of the thigh in that big hip releasing pose. But it has a lot of the similar qualities and sensations within it. So I'm going to come forward with my hands to the floor, just like this, but you're welcome to bring in bolsters. You can rest your forearms on them, let the head drop. I know some of you may be able to come all the way forward, your forehead might come to the floor, or maybe you can meet the prop that you've brought into the practice with you, with your head. So just allow your eyes to close again as you explore what this pose has to offer you, where you're finding space and freedom. And what you can access in your body because you've carved this time out for yourself. And remember that every time you choose to come to the mat, every time you choose a practice, you choose yourself, you're starting to really build more freedom in so many more ways than just what we kind of hold on to that word for. The depiction of being able to do what we like when we want is one of the ways that maybe we would describe the word freedom. But it's got so many other avenues to explore and pathways to unfold if we just allow ourselves to be still and listen. Maybe you start to dive a little bit deeper into this shape. There's no pressure to go there, but perhaps when you start to lose sensation, you start to take yourself in, maybe allowing the blocks or the props to come down on a slightly lower level, maybe rather than being on hands, moving to forearms. Inhale, gently press into the hands, into the arms, and start to unravel the body. Close the eyes when you reach the top. Marinate in sensation. Gently switch the legs over to bringing the left heel in close, the right leg out in front, allowing the thighs to relax. And you see in all bodies, regardless of how much yoga we do, there's always an imbalance. There's always going to be one side that wants to do something slightly different to the other. And that's okay. Let's allow our body's space to be exactly as they are and to show up always exactly how they want to. Let the hands and palms or palms face up, come down. Let yourself lean into this pose, into this stretch on the side, and just notice the relief you might feel, maybe tenderness even in the body as you start to progress forwards, letting a bit of gravity and body weight do the work. Again, notice if when the chin comes towards the chest and the teeth start to clench together, if that becomes tense or intense on the face and the body, maybe you need to unclench the teeth and relax the face. Taking a few more deep breaths in here. And then using the hands to help support you as you inhale and press all the way up. Close the eyes, let the hands rest. Blinking the eyes open. Our final shape. And I haven't included Shavasana here because I feel like if you're doing this in the middle of the day, this might not be the time or place for a full 5 to 10 minute Shavasana. And plus this practice is short, right? So I'm trying to keep it so that you can do this. And then you get to move into whatever it is that comes next, whether that be sleep, a work call, going for a walk with a friend or alone, waking up first thing in the morning. Maybe you tag on the breathwork practice from this week with it, who knows, right? So let's straighten out the legs first of all, because I'm sure the knees are going to be feeling something, a sensation. So just let the blood flow move through them. And to finish, we're going to spend a couple of minutes in reclined Baddha Konasana with a support behind you. Okay, so this is going to let you lead off of the practice with a real sense of openness. So we've moved forwards and rounded and opened the receiving heart space. Now let's go the other way and see if we can't just create a bit more space across the chest, that lovely giving space in our body. Soles of the feet together, and let your hips be about a fist distance away from whatever it is that you're propping your body up with, to give your natural curvature in the spine a little bit of space. And then place the arms out wide, let the palms face up, let your shoulders wrap around whatever it is. And please note, it doesn't have to be a bolster. Of course, I'm in the studio, I've got access to loads of these, but it might be that you're rolling up your duvet, that you're on a big pillow from your bed or cushions, and it might not sit directly along the base of the length of your spine. It might be a little bit squishy. It might not be exactly as it was when you were last in the studio doing this shape, but that's okay. Let it be what it has to be, and let yourself be in the moment with what it is. Let yourself breathe deep and allow your eyes to close if that feels good, and then just let go. Let go of any worrying, any thinking, overthinking. And as you move into the next part of your day, your night, your week, whatever it may bring, for a moment here, just call in something you'd like for yourself. Something that allows you to feel freedom and spaciousness. Let your breath be a reminder to you of the light and life force that moves in and out of you every moment of every day and night without you even having to try, without conscious effort. And then allow yourself to know that with a conscious effort and a little bit of attention on something, you can create abundance. Abundance of whatever it is that calls you, that pulls you in, attracts you, that makes you feel alive. Taking a deep breath in, scoop your hands underneath the thighs and bring your knees together. As you exhale, soften the back body. Next inhale, roll onto your left or your right hand side. Exhale, soften into the earth beneath you. Inhale, peel yourself up to seated. And when you arrive, bring the hands together in prayer. Let your thumbs connect to third eye. We'll seal our practice with a bow of love, honor, and respect. Remembering that we are all connected. We are one. Namaste, and thank you. Have a lovely rest of your day.